So a lot of people will ask when they're looking at land is, how much things cost, like how much the soil test costs, how much the survey costs. And to be honest, it really depends. I'll give you an example, of the soil test, and then I'll give you an example of the survey so you can kind of get an idea of how to evaluate those things. So we're getting 12 acres right now for a VIP client. It's under contract and we're getting it evaluated. I'll have to tell you who the client is later, but we did the soil test out there for him. It was $500 because the area where they were doing was already cleared. So it's $500 to do a soil test for a 5-bedroom septic permit. That ended up being just fine. If it was an area where they had to walk through a bunch of woods to get to it, or trying to do multiple perk sites, or they couldn't find it, or there's rock and they had to get some machine out there, then it might be a little bit more money to get that same perk test done. But for this case, it was $500 to get the perk test done. Now the survey is a kind of a wild card because, originally they said they could go out there. They had some old stakes at the corners. They wouldn't have to do very many, new stakes to cut this 12 acres out, but they went out there. One of the stakes had been removed. The area that they thought they'd be able to walk through really easily, was grown up and grown over with brush and underbrush and stuff like that, making it really hard to access. So originally they quoted us about $1,800 to $2,000 to do this because they already had some stakes and they thought they'd be able to walk really easily. Now that they got to redo the stakes and they've got to go through the brush, they got to get somebody to come out and cut the lines into the brush so that they could walk back and put the stakes in the right place. It'll cost about $4,000 to have that same 12 acres surveyed. So that's a big range, right? Could be 2,000, could be 4,000. And if the whole thing had to be cut, and it wasn't half cleared farmland, then it could be even more than that. So it takes a little bit of money to get the land evaluated, but you want to make sure that you got the right survey, that you can perk for the use that you're intending for the land, whether that's to build a single house or to do a subdivision. So you got to invest in this kind of due diligence up front, and we can make sure that you get pointed in the right direction to handle it.